Our breath is a very important tool, not just for yoga, but generally. And we pay a very little attention to how we breathe and how it is connected to other systems, and not just the systems in the body, but also to our mind and how we perceive the world, how we perceive the reality, how we control our emotions and ups and downs in our life. But also, if we just stay in the physical realm of our body, the way how we breathe reflects on our body posture, on a muscle tension, and even on our nervous system, that later on affects also how we think, how we feel, and how we perceive the reality for ourselves. And there are a lot of tools, a lot of techniques in yoga, but not just in yoga, in other traditions as well, how to affect the way we feel, we perceive the world, and also our physical body through different breathing techniques. And usually pranayama is, in our Western context, connected to a breath. We usually say it's a breath work, but it's not so much true. It's limited to say it's just about the breath, but breath is an important aspect. It's a very important tool, because the breath is connected to all these systems that are on the picture, like the respiratory system, nervous system, emotional states, cardiovascular system, even to our hormonal system. Everything in our body is somehow connected to the way we breathe. And through the nervous system, even to a deeper aspects of our being, because it is deeply connected to our reptilian brain as well, and our way how to survive in the world full of dangers for us in the past, and even now, even the danger is different than it was in the past when he wanted to survive the fight against the nature. So sometimes the reactions that we have are automatic, or most of the time, let's say, are automatic, like maybe 90-95% of our reactions are based on the deep experiences, not just our own experiences, but ours as the species, as a humans, to be able to survive, even though they are not so much connected to a physical threat and survival in this modern world. And it's very much reflected in the way we breathe. And if we learned to breathe in a different way, then it's healthy and beneficial for us. And we've been doing that for 30 or 40 years. It's also affecting our body at the end. So we may feel a tension in the muscles, problems in the different systems of our body, even the nervous system and hormonal system and so on. So we can affect a lot through the breath, even though it's not the same like energy. And the way we usually breathe is that we are overusing the muscles on our chest, in between the ribs, and we are not using so much the diaphragm, which is basically the most important way we breathe. And the child, when it's born, the children, they don't have developed the muscles and everything, so they are able to breathe the way that they expand the chest. They only breathe through diaphragm, and the diaphragm, that's the muscle that is below the chest and is drawn down as we breathe in, and then the breath and the lungs are open, and that way we can breathe, and it's the most effective way of breathing. And very often the way we breathe is a reflection how we feel and how we live our life, and it's also psychologically connected to our mind. Usually people that have issues with a fear of death, with anxieties and other fears, that they have a problem with self-esteem, and they fight for their place in the world. They usually have the diaphragm blocked, and it's almost not moving because they are trying to separate themselves from these emotions and fears, and that also is reflected physically in the body. And then they are overusing the other muscles around the chest and not using the diaphragm, which has a tremendous negatives on our body, on our mind and nervous system. And that's why we have so many techniques in yoga. And first we always start with just feeling the breath, understanding that the breath is coming and going, and paying attention, be aware that there is some kind of a mechanism which is 99% automatic, and it's actually the only system in our body that you can leave on automatic nervous system work, but you can also affect it. You can put your mind into it and you can change it, and through that change you can change how you feel, how your emotions work, and how you also perceive the world, that you don't see it as a threat, you don't see it as a dangerous place, but you can see it as a great gift, just the way you change the breath or change the breathing pattern in the long run.